All right, yo, what is up, people? This is Zero, and today we we got Jessica Hicks returning with her lovely self as a job recruiter. She's gonna tell us a little bit about herself. I'm pretty sure like those who came last time probably heard it, but it's just for all the new people that not have seen the previous interview, just to get those people caught up. So, floor is
All
yours, Jessica.
right. All right. Well, hi everybody. And I see familiar names in the chat, but I'm Jessica. You can call me Jess. I basically, as Zero said, I talk a lot about jobs on my channel and just provide job tips and advice for resume writing and job interviews and really anything throughout the whole process. In particular, I do highlight companies that are hiring for remote jobs in different areas. So that's kind of what I do on my channel. I also do talk about some different topics, just society wise, on my channel as well. I've been doing those more recently. And in my like just work life, I am a recruiter. So that's why I talk about these topics on my channel, is just because I wanted to really share about really what I was seeing, and I wanted to bridge the gap between what job seekers and what folks that I would interview, kind of why they didn't move on through the process, and share some of that information. Because I know a lot of people, unless you're working in HR, you're not really going to know. You submit an application and you don't really know what happens after that process, and you don't really know what things other people do to get their jobs. Like a lot of times, people aren't really focusing on applying, but they're networking and they're using people they know, and they actually get jobs. And especially people outside of the Black community do that a lot. And I don't think the Black community we do it enough to really help our people and help us kind of get our first starts and things like that. So that's the channel. That's kind of a little bit about me, personal life about me. I have been really big into rollerblading lately. I'm trying to get more active as of late, and then I'm a yogi, and I'm also vegan. So that's a little bit about just kind of general life.
I mean, I know this kind of might be a little off topic with the theme of it, but you say you a yogi. Do you do it for exercise or do you do it for the actual spiritual practice?
Yeah, so for me, I do it for the not really the spiritual practice, but more of just giving myself time and self-care, and just giving myself some space to just be and be silent, and just, obviously, like, I do follow along, and I've done like the in class yoga sessions and things like that. So that's the big reason I started doing it, but I also like to keep it up because of the flexibility. I don't always spend the time that I need to stretch. And so with yoga, you kind of get all of that together. So you get to stretch, you get to do a little meditation, and then you do get to build strength as well. So yeah, as far as working out, I try to work out at least twice a week. My goal, my goal for actually this upcoming week is to continue what I did last week, where I actually worked out 3 times a week. I'm just trying to take baby steps.
Great. So hear this, fellas. I think she's single too, so I think she's on the market. unless she ain't, like I'll take that back.
I am single. Yeah, I don't know if I'm on the market. I don't know if I'm ready to get back into a relationship, but I am single. If something were to happen, that would be great. But to be honest, I've just been really focusing on my self-care. I got on a dating app a while ago when I first moved to Dallas, and then I deleted it because I was like, this is lame. But
I
yeah,
really don't get those dating apps. I'm like,
it's bad, right?
I could probably figure it out, but it just didn't seem to make sense to do that, especially with people you don't know. I mean, if you're not really that good at texting people on it, or or if your pictures don't look, right, then it don't really, it really doesn't look that, doesn't work for you. But it's, I mean, it's just like I ain't got time for that. Especially when I heard about someone who had did it, like you gotta be able to get in, be able to get their attention real quick. And I'm like, I ain't got time to be trying to jump through hoops. That's too much work.
So that's interesting to hear the guy's perspective because from my perspective, it's just like it's too much. Like it's just so men will message and then it's just, but the messages are kind of weird. Like some men are respectful,
Oh
others
yeah,
are respectful and really boring. Like they're just saying hi. Others, they just sent you this same message. Like it's a very scripted message. It's like, okay, so you just copy and paste this to every girl. So it's just weird. It's just like, can I just get a genuine like, hi, how are you? You're beautiful, so I wanted to talk to you, or whatever you want to say, and just be normal and let's talk and let's actually. Here's my other thing about it. It's okay, we're talking. If you don't invite me to like invite me out to somewhere to actually meet you face to face or do a video something or whatever, I'm done. Like after maybe the third or fourth chat. Like, okay, well, we know each other. Like we had three conversations so far. You're not pushing for a Zoom. You must not be interested. That's kind of how my mind works. But I don't know. Maybe for
yeah.
men, they just take more time. I'm just like, nope,
Well,
I'm dead.
I'm kind of the same. I'm kind of same way. Like I gotta be able to meet you in real life at some point. Because why, I'm just talking to you for a long time, and then I know, don't know what you look like or never met you in person. Then it's just like, it just don't feel real to me at a certain point. Because like, I mean, yeah, we might had a great conversation, but it's like, I gotta see how you are in real life. We can talk it, you sound great.
Yeah.
And then might talk it. I might right now some ain't right there. And, for it goes in like too far. I'm like, oh, okay. So you're like this, okay. Like, yeah, let me go ahead and back. I mean, my mind like, I'm gonna go ahead and back up away from this or something like that. It might have some issues, something like that, probably visible seen, maybe some red flags. So I'm like, I gotta kind of like, get a feel from this person, like, in real life. So that's kind of my
Yeah.
thing. That's not my opinion, though. But I don't know if that's everybody's opinion, but that's mine at least.
Interesting. And I saw in the chat, Tanya had asked, was it plenty of fish? It wasn't plenty of fish. I have been on there, like, I think when I was in college, I got on there and I got right back off because I was like, what in the world? I remember probably the some of the weirdest comments I got when I was on there. I remember this guy, it happened to be a white guy. He was like, "You look like they didn't tell you look like Jessica Alba," and I'm just like, "What the heck?" Just like, what are you sending this to everybody? Like, I don't understand. Like, did you think before you sent this one? It was
All
weird.
right.
And then
I
you
mean,
get the messages that are like, "Oh, something about chocolate," or "I love women like I like my coffee," or just weird. Like, and they're still doing those type of messages now. I'm just like, you guys kidding me? Like, stop.
I've seen videos like where people have like screenshot like funny text, like it was like one like where like it'd be like somebody say where one would say hello there, and then like they put like a picture of like General Kenobi, and then like put Grievous like General, he'd be like say, he's like showing Obi-Wan like say hello there, and then he put Grievous like General Kenobi. It was just it was just hilarious, like the comments that he put there. I was like, man, I would if I yeah, I would have to like look for that video like to see all the funny comments I see on there, but it was just crazy. I was like, it was just crazy, but yeah. But yeah,
I saw a
yep.
comment too. House of Bling was saying at least you can FaceTime and Zoom in the meantime. I think the exact same thing because, like, I get you may not want to meet up with somebody in person until you kind of figure out how they're what they're like. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're not like you're really not gonna know until you actually see them in person. So that's why I don't really like
Right.
the online apps because it's like I've been catfished plenty of times. Like I meet the guy and like okay, I've been hatfished for sure. Um
Catfish.
Hatfish, like where you don't realize they're bald and because all their pictures were hats. So
Uh,
that's one. Um Not that, that's completely bad, but there's a certain type of there's like Vin Diesel bald guy, and then there's like
called
um
Winslow.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say somebody else, but I didn't want to say his name. But yes.
Uh,
But yeah, it's like a whole thing. And then I've been like you meet the person, they say they're 6'1" or they're 5'11", and they're like 1 inch taller than me, or they're older than what they said they were. I've had that happen a couple of times where the guy he definitely used pictures from like 10, 15 years ago, and it's like, and then you're meeting in person, you're just like, so your pictures were nice. Like, what is
so,
this?
so, 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 I, so
You don't think I would have
I
figured it
mean,
out?
yeah, how tall are you just be the record so I can just know, like,
Oh,
like,
me?
yeah.
I'm 5'5".
Oh, you 5'5", huh? Okay.
Uh-huh.
I thought you'd be a little bit taller than that, but okay.
No. I mean, I'm not sure. I always say I'm average height for a woman, so I'm not sure. I'm right in the
Yeah.
middle.
Yeah, that was like for a woman. I'd probably look at you like, yeah, sure. But but it's average height for a woman, I think. Yeah, I think it's about average height, at least close to average height. It's one or the other, but I forgot what they said the average height of a woman actually is, but
It's me. It's 5'5".
okay, okay, I'll take your word for
It's Phil Rose laughing at me.
it. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
I saw Latanya say hoodwink. Like, I mean, it's funny to see guys talk about girls catfishing, but like what my experience has been is that guys totally do it. Like, so it's not like one gender is like doing it the most. No.
I've seen you guys do that. Like, I think I've seen guys like like have like their younger pictures, and you be thinking that's what they look like, and they don't even look like that no more. But it just, it's just crazy. I'm like, I was like, okay, well, me, I don't really mind, showing where I'm like, I don't really take a lot of pictures anyway, but the pictures I have taken, like, yeah, I was like, yeah, if you want to see a current picture, I was like, I'll probably send one, but it'll be like, one more current, but pretty much I don't really look too much different in my other pictures than I do now. Like, it's like my teenage pictures. I was like a little skinnier back then, but but that's probably like the only difference, pretty much. But other than that, that ain't really too much of a difference.
Okay. So Zero, how tall are you?
5'11".
Oh, okay. You're like, okay. So you're like a taller guy.
Yeah, I thought I'd be probably taller than my dad. My dad was like 6.5 feet.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I guess it kind of bounced out to my mom was short. She's not
Oh,
really short, but like I be I be messing with her about like, yeah, you so short.
that's funny.
I think if I had to guess, I think my mom probably about your height, maybe either, yeah, I think probably about your height or maybe maybe just a little bit taller, but not too much.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, but but yeah, like yeah, yeah, but you say you're I've seen like on the thumbnail say like you're a job advocate. I think it was a advocate, a job recruiting advocate.
Yeah, so
Um,
I say that because so I'm a recruiter. That's like my work. But
mm,
I say I'm a job advocate because I provide services to candidates specifically. So I actually had a consultation earlier, just to check in with one of my clients because I had redid a resume for her. Because we had a conversation and like everything she was telling me said, okay, she's probably not getting results because her resume. And so I asked her like, hey, are you getting interviews at all? And it was a no. And so I was like, let me just see your resume. And I had plenty of things I could, edit for her. And so we're gonna see how things go with her actually submitting this new resume. But there's plenty of things you can do to really optimize that one chance you get when you are actually putting in an application. I did like my first reel, not really a TikTok so much, but I guess it was TikTok. I did create it in Instagram and TikTok, but I shared that on my Instagram, which is Jobs for Jess, and I was just showing like in a really quick way, like, hey, most people only do job applications, but there's so many things that you can do outside of that gets you results. Like everyone's putting in job applications, but that's not really what gets you the most results. The most results comes from connecting with people like me, like a recruiter. There are staffing agencies where they work with multiple companies, so they have multiple opportunities, whether it's full time or contract, that can get you to work really fast. And then there's like using people in your network. Like you just never know who can get you your job. Like I remember when I first started working as a recruiter, it was at a PR agency, and I actually needed to hire folks. And this kid was referred by one of the managers within our group, and it wasn't communicated like you have to hire him, but I had to hire this kid. And he was terrible. Totally not a great attitude, just like nothing. Wasn't even interested in the field, but they wanted to do this for him so that he could get the company name on his resume. Because that's a lot of time out of college, that's what it's about. It's about that first, you just need that first chance, which is why I wish community, the black community did this more to really push. Like you're a manager, you can push for this person coming out of school and do what these other groups do, and they try to get these folks experience so they can get at least that first job, get them started. All you need is a good first experience to really kind of lead you into a really good path, whether that's what you want to do. Like he was working in HR, he wanted to move into marketing, but they were neighbors. It was like his, so this lady, the relation between this kid and her was that he was the friend of his neighbors, of one of her neighbors. It wasn't even like she had directly known this kid, but it was, just using your friend. So your friend could even have a connection to somebody. And it could be like not someone they know super close. It could be their neighbor. It could be like your hairstylist. Like think about hairstylists and how many people they come into contact with. A lot of times hairstylists are dealing with professional women, barbers, professional men. Like everyone has to get their hair done. Everyone has to get their nails. Well, a lot of people should be getting their nails done. And all these different things. So just think about the people that you come across on your day to day or week by week, and tell them that you're looking for a job, and tell them what you're looking for, and tell them about your skills just so they have it top of mind, and see what happens from that. Just have the conversations because you just never know. I do feel like people are genuinely willing to help others, but you have to let them know. Like for myself, I can't help anybody if I don't know that you're either looking for a job, and then I can know you're looking for a job, but then I don't know anything about you, about what you're doing, what your skills are. So you have to let people know that type of stuff. So that's really what I talk about on my channel. What I like to try to get across to people is just don't focus so much on what everyone else is doing with putting in a bunch of applications. Like, you need to talk to somebody that understands the industry, that knows how to get you results. And especially with kids coming out of school, a lot of these career counselors, advisors, they don't know anything about the corporate world if that's where you're trying to go into, or even just business in general, because a lot of times they've worked at the university for so long, they don't really, they just don't know. They can give you tips, they can try their best and, share what has been told to them or share what they do in academia, but academia is a lot different than when you get to the business world. What they look for, and like with resumes and cover letters, is way different than what we're looking for in the business world, because it's just a different audience. So that's really what I try to convey to people on my channel and with my clients that I work with and with social media. I need to get better about social media for sure. I know that. But that's a learning. It's the same as YouTube. It's a big learning for me to continue. So that's like one of my goals for this year too. And thank you, Latanya. I'm glad you agree with that.
Yeah, I definitely like, see like certain things like with academia and stuff like that. Cause like when I was learning baking, learning like some of the culinary arts that like when I was working at a restaurant. I mean, I didn't get a chance to learn everything because of the virus and whatnot. But when I was learning that, like it's like if I had like learned everything I need to know, and then I left and went and did something else, like I would more likely get hired on, because not only did I learn from somebody who was who was like one of the best in their field, like in the city. And then on top of that, like I'm already learned the skills and I have the experience, instead of like just coming straight out of a culinary school and then just going right in there, going culinary school with no real world experience, and just coming straight in. So I would be more likely to get hired than the one who like they got the skill, they learned the skills, but they hadn't had a chance to put it in practice. If you get what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, like,
Yeah.
I mean, because that's all that companies really want to know. Like, what can you do? What have you learned already? Can you learn something else? Because there are people that it's not a matter of can you learn, I guess, but they're not as willing to learn new things.
Yeah.
And if you can show that you have some experience and really highlight that in a really, I guess, professional type of way, and a way where it comes across as, hey, I have done these things, I'm confident in these abilities, and I'm confident in my ability to learn, and I'm motivated, and I really like, what I'm doing and what I could bring to, whatever space it is, whether it's, you know, um, it could be, hospital, it could be different organizations, it could be, restaurant, it could be whatever that is for you, but that's really all that we're looking to know. And then the other thing is just at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're hiring people that we want to be around. People don't say that, but it's totally true. Like, we want to be around people that are friendly, they smell good, they look good. Like, people, I mean, people won't say that, but it is definitely true. We look at appearance. Appearance should be nice. You should be smelly, and that people won't want to be around you then. And then, you have to be friendly. You shouldn't no one wants to be around a grumpy person. So things that you can do during that interview process sometimes are just showing and highlighting some of that, because that's it. You just never know what you really get until a person has started working, or you've started with a company. Even you don't really know what to expect and how the people will, what they'll be like until you get in there. But what you have is that time and all those interactions, so that's what companies go off of. So if you have a moment where you're like showing some bad attitude, or you're talking down on a past company and doing things like that, you could be a great person, but it's just like they only have to go off their 1 hour or couple, couple hours interviews with you. So it's it can be tricky, but I mean, I do think it's important just to spend time to prepare and make sure you talk to people that can help with preparing for that stuff. And then like with your scenario, yeah, like some people kind of think like you can just get the degree and then go, but you can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen like some jobs that would say like, yeah, look for somebody experience, and I'm thinking like, where can you get this experience? I was like, it just it was like it's like I'm thinking like, where can someone get this experience at, like to learn this? So like it didn't make sense. I'm like, okay, well, cross that one out the list.
Well, and yeah, it depends on what you think of as experience, because people don't talk about this, but volunteer work can be experience, right? So it's just all how you look at it. And obviously the best way to get some experience is to work with, whether you can work with somebody in your family, you can work with like maybe a small business. Well, they'll take you on for sure. They'll train you everything, because they may not have the funds that other companies will. And then obviously like internships and things like that, where you can highlight things you've done in school. And so school, that's a
Yeah,
big thing, is like in school, there are some people where they just don't do anything. They just go to school. They just make good grades. And so then they get out of school and it's like, employers are like, well, what have you done? And they're like, I went to school. But you can feed them with other people that they went to school and they had a job, or they did things throughout the organization that they could talk about. They led groups, or so many things you could do and highlight different skills that you have. But even if you didn't have any work experience, you could highlight projects, because at school you have to take on projects. So you can also highlight that type of experience. So that's a lot of time what I say for my recent grads or people in school trying to get their first position.
yeah. I get that. I'm just talking about like like certain what I'm talking about like certain jobs that say like they need experience in this certain thing, and it's like some obscure job, and it's like you like talking about where would I get experience for this? It was like yeah, it's like you can be willing. I was like, I
Mm,
can be willing to learn it, but it's like I don't know where I would find somewhere I can go and get some experience to do it. It's like okay, I'm like yeah, it's like I don't know where to go get it, so I have to go find a look for another job.
mm. What kind of experience, like, can you recall like a job posting that you saw where you're like, how can I get this type of experience? I don't even know where to start with that.
Dang, I really can't even think of one right now, but I mean, it's just like probably like some obscure thing. I might just make one up, like let's say, I'm pretty sure that they not. I mean, you're probably not gonna see this anywhere, but let's say like so we need a lion tamer needed. We need someone experienced in lion taming. Need like about 5 years experience. And I'm thinking like, where would we get 5 years? Where are I gonna get 5 years experience to do a lion tamer?
Yeah. So it's I mean, so here's the thing too. Sometimes you look at experience that is posted on a job description, and women actually do this more than men. But people will definitely do what you did, and kind of look at that job and be like, "Oh, I don't have that experience." But maybe you have the other experience. Maybe you have one of the bullet points, of experience that they're looking for. Most people, especially women, will do what you did and move on and say, okay, well, I'm not qualified for that job. But um, I say if you meet at least the minimum qualifications, I would say always apply anyway, because sometimes when you look, especially when it says preferred skills, they're just sometimes you're just hoping and praying that someone has it. Those are just kind of like the nice to have that we want to advertise. So I might work with a hiring manager, and it's like, and you guys know I recruit for a lot of IT jobs. And so, with IT, sometimes the jobs are or the people are scarce that can do certain things. And a hiring manager might be like, "Oh, I want this person to have um, 5 certifications in this." I'm kind of making this up, but or I'm being more dramatic what it really is. But they could be like, "I want them to have 5 certifications. I want them to know Google Cloud Platform. I want them to have a networking background and security, and I want them to actually have been a developer before too." And it's like, where in the world am I going to find a person that worked as a developer, then they moved into cybersecurity, and they have networking experience, and they have 5 certifications? And so, what I might do to appease that is go, okay, we're going to put the minimum qualifications in here that he or she wants. Normally, it's a he that I'm working with because IT. And then I'm gonna include all this stuff that this person wants into the preferred, and then I'm gonna hope and pray we get some folks to apply. But most likely, I'm gonna be searching for people on LinkedIn. So I talk about LinkedIn a lot too. I think every professional person, anyone that has a brand, anyone should be on LinkedIn if you are in business at all. Maybe if you have your own company, you should be on LinkedIn. So, but I may be moving to LinkedIn because I can't find people. And then you have folks that maybe you had the basic qualifications, but since you saw all the rest of it and you're like, I don't have 5 certifications, you passed it up. But I would have talked to you. I would love to talk to you, and so that's how it works sometimes too. You just so I always encourage people, like, even if you don't meet all of the qualifications, go for it, because they may change the qualifications when they see they can't find as many people, especially if it's a really niche skill set. Now if you're applying to like an administrative assistant job and you don't meet the qualifications, you just move on to the next one, because they're going to have like 200 applicants or maybe even more. But for anything that's very niche and you really like the job, go for it, and also try to see if there's anyone that you know that works at the company. They might be able to find some more information out for you.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I mean, now with LinkedIn, I mean, I say me, it's kind of hard for me to use that, but like
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're Zero,
Okay.
are you a chef?
I mean, technically, but I didn't learn everything. But I mean, some of the baking I learned on my own anyway. But I learned more of it, but I just didn't finish everything I wanted to learn about it. So that was the only thing because of the pandemic. So
Gotcha. So you're still like you're in school or everything, or what have you been
oh,
doing like?
I wasn't in school for it. I was learning at a restaurant I was working at in my
Oh,
spare
okay.
time.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I was learning from, like, one of the best paid chefs in my city. I didn't know that till, like,
Okay.
the other chefs had told me. But that's what I was saying. Like, they're like chefs that have already learned all this stuff, and they come out and they had to start from scratch. Like, I remember I talked with another chef about it, like Chef Real Young. It was like about like a year or two ago. We had we had talked about that because he was talking about how he he was kind of like a pit master chef, and he learned culinary arts from another chef from it, in a restaurant, like I did. So, yeah, so
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, probably like in the culinary space. I mean, but here's the thing though, like you will see people on LinkedIn that even in that category too,
Yeah,
because when like restaurant chains and these big companies, like they also have to look for. I mean, and if you think about the restaurant industry, it's a high turnover kind of space too. So they may use LinkedIn. I just haven't had that particular experience to where I was searching for someone that maybe was like a restaurant manager, per se, or like a cook. But I know
yeah,
it can be actually hard to it can be hard to keep cooks, because I know that's a stressful job, and it's especially in a city like like New York, for example. Well, pre-pandemic times,
yeah,
it it's hard. You got to have the right people, or else people don't come back. And you change the cook, and it's like I've been in places where you you order the same thing, and you're like, what happened? They changed the cook or what? This is not the same thing.
yeah. I mean, the restaurant I worked at, like the owner there, like he's really passionate about like about like cooking, and he I mean and he wants to make sure that like chefs they're wanted want to actually be if, he wants them to grow and wants them to eventually leave and go off and do bigger and better things, but he wants to teach them everything he can. And I think he had made it one point. I talked about this last in a stream I did last night. Like like this one chef that did something he wasn't supposed to be doing. And then I think when chef had called him and got mad at him, he just said, "I don't care." So chef thought, "Well, you go clock on out." And
Wow.
then he made like then like I think like the next day he got everybody around like when this happened, like him and the chef like talking. I wasn't at work. I was actually off that day, but like next day I actually came in there and seen that he had he kind of talked about it. He didn't mention the person question, but he kind of just said like he's like saying, I don't care. I said I don't care if you burn all the dishes. I don't care. So you got to be here. You must care. I don't care if you burn up a lot of dishes. As long as you care. I need people who care about cooking. Like, if you care, I'm gonna do everything I can for you. Because I think that's what he mentioned. I said, yeah. So I want you to go off and do bigger, better things. So this is not a job for you just do your hours and you just clock out. He said, this ain't that type of job. You want that type of job, you need to go somewhere else. And pretty much say if you say you don't care, he pretty much say you can f off. You know, that's I mean, he said he said that bluntly, like he wants like people who he work with to actually care about what they're doing. So I mean, like that's like show you like how important you know how important this is to him. Like it's like pretty much like like I was like when I was learning pastry, learning baking, learning more about it. I was learning in my spare time. I wasn't getting paid for learning this. I was learning in my spare time because I actually have a love for it. But like when I wasn't doing it, I was actually okay. I see. Okay. Just I guess you got kicked. I guess the internet kicked you out, but I brought you back in. But I guess to get back, I just finished this. Okay, so
Hey, I'm here. I had to switch to my desktop because my phone is still not charging.
okay, that's fine. So like so pretty much like when I was working out, I was like like I was learning like I said, I was learning pastry in my spare time. But when I was working as a dishwasher. And like think about it, I mean usually most restaurant places, dishwashers are treated almost like nothing. And I'm just like thinking like you would treat the people who keep the place running, like they're nothing. It's like if a dishwasher didn't do no dishes, yeah, we'll see how long that restaurant keeps serving people. And like thing I liked about that restaurant was dishwashers were treated really well. Like like the owner, the head chef there, he wouldn't allow anybody to disrespect the dishwashers because like he had worked as a dishwasher at one point in time, so he knows how it goes. So like if anybody said anything, crazy about like the job, dishwashing, especially like servers, he'll tell you, hey, come on, are you gonna come back here and do these dishes?
That's
Like,
good. Yeah, people don't realize that. Like, I mean, you see that in every business. Like, even like if you think about corporate space, sometimes
yeah,
like janitors and yeah, and I would even say outside of corporate world, just when you think about your day to day and who actually keeps everything running,
yeah,
you think about like, your garbage man, your mailman, your sanitation teams for like people that keep the water and, all these things clean. But yet, you know, they're not really looked at as the heroes, or especially during this pandemic and everything. I think maybe they got a little bit more shine, but people do not treat folks right in that way. Yeah, you don't really think about it.
yeah. It's like thinking about, and I think most people do that because they don't really realize like how much how important it really how important it really is until they actually, either not see it around or until they do it themselves. Because, like, I think like at a young age, matter of fact, it was like 9. Like the first time I had learned the importance of cleaning up on ourselves was like my ninth birthday. I remember I was like, have fun with friends, whatever, and I guess like, friends we have fun, and I guess we made a mess, and I was about to be ready to just leave out home. Like, no, 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 you gotta clean up. You gotta clean up behind yourself. And I said, really? He said, yep. So while I was cleaning up, I was like mad. Everybody made such a mess and all that. And pretty much like that, I was like, yeah, if I go somebody's place, I usually try to pick up behind myself. So that way, it's not as messy because I know like I know how that felt, and just like, 'cause I get that, like janitors there to clean up stuff and all that, but it's like you don't have to be making extra messes to just because somebody will clean up because especially when you're looking down at that person, what that person say like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna quit in the
Mhm.
middle of it, and then who you gonna get to clean up if everybody who is supposed to be cleaned up just quit it just quit that day. Like I mean, it might not, depending on the business, it might not affect you, but so I guess more people next day. It's okay. Well, that's fine, but what about that day? Especially if you need it cleaned up, especially if you need it cleaned up at a certain time, and it,
Mhm.
and all your people quit. That's supposed to do that cleanup. That's gonna make you look bad because then people are like, well, why do all these people quit? Why did all these why did all your sanitation crew just quit? And
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it speaks more to the management. People typically, well, people leave jobs for different reasons, but yeah, if you're not respecting people and you're not taking care of your people, eventually, I mean, most people are going to leave. I think it would be silly to continue working at a place where you didn't feel valued.
yeah,
I say that from personal experience. In no way do I think I was, disrespected to the point of, anything where you're talking to, as far as with the restaurant industry. I know that's tough.
yeah,
But, I would definitely, I had to leave an environment where I didn't feel like I was valued as much. And I mean, you just have to do it. But yeah, when you leave, it looks bad on that manager because they are going to say, well, why did they why did they leave? And
yeah,
then
yeah.
people find out your value a lot more when you actually leave, and they'll be like, "Oh, wait, can you come back? Wait, you're leaving? Wait a minute, we need you." Oh, you
Yeah,
leave now.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like the last restaurant, it was actually pretty cool. I was actually very well. We were actually treated pretty well. I mean, the service
Yeah.
would be jerks from time to time, but not nothing too serious. Like I think like the restaurant job before that, right? The servers they were just complete jerks. I'm like. Hey, they didn't care like what how they did stuff or whatever. It's like they care if it inconvenience me or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. And then and then I got to the point like where they didn't want to. I mean, like one point every time, like at one point they just didn't want to get people's plates and stuff like that, and they like, oh, we got this order, but we got no place and all this, and which like one man said, hey, if y'all don't get these plates, no tips. When he said that, oh yeah, they got right on double on it. I was like, yeah, and I mean, I think I got one. I think I got like so fed up with one time. I just got like kind of angry. I didn't really yell at them, but it was like it was like enough, like where you can like yeah, this is serious, but. Cause I like, cause I remember like the next day out there, like I had to talk to like all three of the managers there, and it was saying, well, he said one of the staff said you raised your voice at him. I was like, really? I'm gonna think about here. Really, we're doing the black guy raised his voice. Are we really doing this? And, I mean, it was like a bunch of like young, lot of them was young white servers. A lot of young white women. I guess they're not used to having people raise their voice at them or something. I don't know. It's just
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
it was just that was just interesting. I was like, oh, and then it was like, why did you do that? And I told that, well, so maybe they stopped being some a holes. Then and maybe hey, you can't say that. You can't call them that. I guess I could have kept that to myself, but it'd be like sometimes I'll just, I'll just be so blunt. Sometimes I'm
hmm
like, yeah, I just said that because I was like, yeah, and then they give a spiel about how like talk to us, stuff gonna get done, and never really got done, but it's just like okay, and I think like it was like that job I was pretty much doing we had three people they're supposed to help, but I was pretty much doing almost all the work. It was like almost like I just didn't need them there because they weren't. It's just like me and two useless people here mostly,
You said
and
there were three other people, so they weren't doing anything.
I mean barely doing anything.
Barely.
I mean it might as well not did nothing.
Oh wow.
So pretty much they trying to get me to do. They kept me giving doing more and more work, and I think and I remember like one time I think like the first Saturday wanted me to they wanted me to stay because I guess stuff too couldn't keep up, and I was like I can't. I said I'm supposed to be leaving at 10, like like I'm supposed to be scheduled to leave.
hmm
I think it was like 10. It was like 10 or 9:30, something like that. But it was something around that time because I wanted to be able to get home, change, and go to this stepping set that they had there. So I was like, yeah, I was trying to get there, get out and go there. So so I was like, yeah. Yeah, I can't do it this time. So it's okay. And then the next week for the schedule, he made sure that I stayed the whole Saturday that time. Took
Oh
over.
wow.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Because you mad that I told you no, so you gonna make me stay here? and like it's just like at that point like where they just tried to keep me like to closing like like through the weekend. So like it's like most they just have me just working the weekend most of the time, like working from like cause I think like closing there was like 12 midnight. So I work coming to 12 noon to 12 midnight
Hmm.
for most of the day. And sometimes they have me come in and work an occasional Thursday, but usually it helped me. They would try not to give me no overtime. So and I was just like, okay. I mean, it just got to the point like where like they kept changing my schedule around so much. Then no, I take it back. They had Sunday where I get off 12 to 9, but other than that, like most of the Friday Saturday had me 12 to close, and and after I got off, then I remember like the last week I decided to that maybe that was like a last straw, maybe want to quit was like when this one lady was like, well, complained about her sister, complained about her not, staying here to close and everything like that. And I'm just like, and they asked like, yeah, you want to stay here for closing time? I say yes, only thinking it was gonna be a one time deal. And then I look at the schedule like, oh, so now y'all trying to make me do this all the time now. I'm like, I didn't say I was gonna do this all the time. I just agreed to this one time. And when they didn't want to change it, I was like, okay, well that's straw. I'm gonna go find another job. So like mainly what I used to do to find jobs, I would go on Craigslist. That's what I used to do. But
Yeah, for that type of work, I would say Craigslist would be the quickest, like you could quickly find
yeah,
opportunity. But there are some companies that also have put jobs on Craigslist. The other thing is that's pretty cool to look at is Nextdoor. You can find some companies are posting on there, and then people will share like, "Hey, I need someone that can do X, Y, Z, or I need movers, or like if you need like a side hustle or side, like just income really quick, like you can go on there." The only thing about Nextdoor though is you have to be set up. You have to sign up for it, and it's only the people in at least in your vicinity of your neighborhood. So it'll be like your neighborhood and then neighboring neighborhoods. So it's if it unfortunately if you're like in a community where it's like if you're living in the poor area where there may not be as many businesses, you're probably not going to reap the benefits as much. But if you happen to be in a location, maybe a bigger city, people can find different opportunities like that. So, but yeah, Craigslist is good for. Actually, used Craigslist to find my first car in college. So I used Craigslist. It was like a $2,000 deal, and it was this old Chevy that I got, and yeah. But yeah, Craigslist is good for really any type of job that you can look for. But I would just say I never recommend Craigslist to folks because a lot of times I'm talking to people in a professional like setting, and
right.
um, but the other thing is you just have to be more careful with Craigslist because there are people that are scamming folks with jobs,
Yeah,
and they do it on LinkedIn, they do it on Indeed, they do it all across. They definitely do it on Craigslist. So that's the other thing that I'm a little leery about. But you just have to be
yeah,
careful.
yeah. I definitely seen some stuff like especially with like apartment stuff like that. I've been seeing certain links on there, and I've been like, these emails don't look right.
Right, right, right. Yeah, that's a giveaway. I need to do. I might take Tanya's advice and do a couple more TikToks because I do have some thoughts on just how you can look out for job scams when they come
Yeah.
across. But yeah, you definitely have to be careful.
Yeah. I mean, the fun thing about like that particular restaurant experience, it was I actually found that on Craigslist. I mean,
Hmm.
and
That's
and
cool.
like yeah, I mean, but I mean, the fun thing about it was like I think like when I remember hearing one time that say they say like that particular restaurant job was like a job where somebody get fired and they can come back and reapply and they'll be hired again. It's like, yeah, so I can kind of see why. I gotta see why now. Yeah, you know, it's like I think like you know they do the whole like you know you don't burn your bridges thing, but I'm like
Mhm.
I've never went to back to a job I quit, so it's like I mean you know pretty much when I quit they were calling for me because they were blowing my phone up. I just looked there and didn't even answer. I was like yeah I'm done. I said yeah good yeah I'm thinking like good luck holding that down without me.
Yeah, so I do agree with the whole don't burn your bridges. I mean, because I have had this actually happened, was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. It was but right before the pandemic. It wasn't like this guy had burned bridges or anything, but I did have someone turn down an offer, and then we went ahead with the next candidate that we came across, and then came back to me and was like, "Hey, this company didn't work out," and then he was like, "Can I, is there anything open?" I was like, "Well, I'm sorry, but we already hired somebody." So there are scenarios like that that happen too, and
Yeah,
I felt really
yeah,
bad for him.
yeah. I think like that applies like for more professional settings, like you know, like
Mhm.
probably like things like where you know if you have a you know if you want to have a career or something like that. I think that may apply, but like probably like something like you know that like they just probably hire anybody for. I don't think that applies as much.
I would say it depends. So
Yeah.
it depends. If let's say you were like working at McDonald's or somewhere, I would say definitely don't burn a bridge there just because of how large the overall company is. Like your job isn't that, I mean, you could definitely kind of walk out. When I say burn a bridge, I don't mean like if you have to quit and you have to leave it early, you can't give like the 2 week notice. That to me isn't really so much
Oh,
burning a bridge. It is what it is. But like, when people are just outright rude, I'm not coming back here no more. I'm sick of this. Like I think about the like if you watch Chris Rock's was it Everybody Hates Chris, how the mom was always like she get a job, she quit a job, get a job, quit a job. And she'd be like,
yeah.
I don't have to take this. She just would go off and be like, my man got 2 jobs. And you'd be
Oh
like,
yeah, I remember the episode. Yeah,
yeah.
I never actually did that. I just never came back.
See
I
that
never.
that would be burning the bridge if you just
I
never
mean,
came back. But I mean,
I
to your
mean,
point, yeah,
yeah,
it's like in
yeah.
the
I mean,
industry you're in, if you're
yeah.
like working in a dishwasher job at a small like restaurant, like it may not come back to bite you. But here's the thing though. I mean, at some point in your career, you're gonna need references too. So I would definitely not recommend doing that all the time because when let's say you didn't want to do that job anymore. Say you wanted to try something different and you're trying to think of, you need 3 references because some companies, some places still do this, even small, like even restaurants do sometimes. They'll check references. I don't really agree with it, but because most people aren't going to give a bad reference. They're going to give you people that they know are going to give them a good reference, but you
Right.
may not be able to think of anybody if the 3 last places you worked at you left and you be like, well, I'm not going to give them that reference.
Yeah.
So you just never know. But
Yeah.
Zero, did you see my message in the private
Yeah.
chat?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I wanted to
Yeah.
make sure.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like I never got like why business like you know say like you got to give them a 2 week reps 2 weeks 2 weeks notice if you leave, but if, you know if they let you go, you don't get no 2 weeks notice. So it's like seem
Yeah,
like that.
that's true.
Yeah, that that just don't make sense to me. I'm like I say, you know, I say, you want to do it, you give them a notice, but I mean, I don't see why we got to give you 2 weeks notice. Like say, I want to make sure everything, you know, straight with them. We're like, well, you ain't make sure everything's straight with us when you fired us. I ain't never seen a job like we said, well, we fired you, but got 2 weeks fired on the job. I
That
ain't never.
Yeah, that's true for like when you get into the non-professional space, that's definitely true. When you
Oh,
normally when you go into the professional space, depending on the job and depending on the company, like if it's a decent company, oftentimes they do provide a severance of so many weeks. whether you work there for 6 months, if you work there for 6 months or 6 years, they will be providing you some sort of severance pay. So that kind of helps you along. So it's, I mean, there are some, it's not, I don't want you to feel like it's always going to be like everything benefits the employer in all the times, but
Okay.
sometimes, they are, and there are some legal requirements. This is another thing I don't think in the Black community people know so much about, but there are times where people have been treated badly or illegally, and people just don't know it because they don't know the laws. And this was a while ago, but I've been a part of different HR communities, and this girl had told me about an incident where two guys had been fired. And I think it was a warehouse that she was working at, and the white guy got fired and this Black guy got fired. Both fired, same reason. It was not really a right reason. I can't remember what the reasoning was, they said, but the white guy actually, he got a lawyer and he sued the company. And he ended up getting, or did he sue? I don't think he sued. I think he requested for them to pay him some amount of money because it was a wrongful termination or something. So I don't know if he outright sued, like did the full process, but he ended up getting money is the end of the story because of that. The Black guy, he never came to them. And the girl, she was kind of like, I wish he knew his rights, but of course it's not her job to tell him that. She's working for the company. But yeah, I mean, if any community needs to know a family lawyer or even if it's not a family lawyer, pay a bunch of friends. We're gonna go in it together and get contact with a lawyer. We need to touch base with somebody. We do, because typically we're the ones that might be in a scenario like that, and we need to know our legal rights and what people can do and what people can't do, and also especially how you can get compensated for different things. And that really stuck with me. It's been years like that. I think that happened in 2015,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like, yeah, people don't know.
Yeah. I know something about like workplace rights because I had my I got my OSHA 10, so like I kind of know like some of like the things that you're not you're supposed to do and what not supposed to do. But I mean, I'm not fully informed on workplace laws, so now you
Yeah.
talk about it, make me want to look more into it. But I mean, I clearly know like certain things. Like I mean, I know like there were like times like where at one of my old jobs they would just try to keep us try to keep us working like a long period of time. Talking about what and like so I get mad if we go take a break because like you want to keep going. I'm like I said no no we're legally allowed to get 2 15-minute breaks. So it's like
Right.
you're not. Yeah, I'm like I wish you would try to tell us. Wish you would try to tell us not to go get a break because I will sue this company for that.
Exactly. I'm glad you knew your rights, because some people
Oh yeah,
don't
yeah,
realize, and you talk about like, sometimes the whole illegal immigration and stuff comes up, but the people that benefit are the
but
companies, because a lot of
but
times
you
they
but
don't
you
know the
know
right.
but the fun thing about it, like at that company, I'm pretty sure they have illegal immigrants because it's like a lot of like Hispanic people who
Mm,
barely know English. I'm just like,
mm,
okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure they probably understand it, but some of yeah, they just don't want to speak it, so they pretend like they don't know.
right,
But
right.
I mean, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure both of them are legal, and then I know it's like they had some Jamaicans there, which I know a lot of them ain't there legally. I mean, like before I left, they had like a lot of them doing overtime, but they're not getting paid like time and a half. They're getting paid straight time, and they
Oh
can't
wow.
they can't say anything about it because they're illegal. They can't fight it. So it's like,
Right, right. Yeah, so it's that is really sad to hear. But yeah, we know it happens. It totally happens.
yeah, I mean, it's like think about it. They would give illegals the overtime, but when it came to like to the black people there, because I think it was like almost all like American, like almost all like the American people that were working at least working on the lines were black people, and they were that it was like when they moved to the new plant they were like they refused to give us overtime like while I was there, but I was already ready to be out the door at that point because I had already dealt with no disrespect, and I think you heard me mention some of the stuff they did with that. Especially like the last straw was that Christmas bonus they put up there. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
I was just waiting for that, but now that you done completely disrespect me with that,
I remember
I,
that.
I'm I'm glad the job I got now. I'm getting respect. Getting truly respected, and I don't have to deal with as much deal with a lot of the stuff I had to deal with the other one because I was like, yeah. I mean, I think that job like pretty much a lot of like the black people there was just like, yeah, we quit because we tired of disrespect,
Mm.
having to work us to death and then and then disrespect us afterwards. So yeah, that was just a whole big thing. But it is getting close to that time, but I do thank you for having this conversation with me. And I do like I said earlier, I do want to have do that collab with you and Miss Full Roller because I think that would be a good timing with the black churches and all that because
That
actually
would be a good conversation. I'll have to connect with you guys to let you know what timing and everything. But yeah,
yeah
we should definitely talk about that because yeah, I got a lot of thoughts, but yeah, I do have to run. But
yeah
I appreciate you having me on your platform. I got to learn more about you and connect with the folks in your chat too. Happy to see some nice comments in there. But yeah, I mean, I definitely hope some of the information was useful as well.
yeah. Of course, it wasn't all about like the job recruiter, but we did start live for each other. So yeah. So.
Well, all right. Well, Zero, have a great day. And yes, we will definitely talk about the church upcoming video.
All right.
Cool. Have a good day, everybody.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So thank y'all for coming through. Let me give them a shout outs. Shout out to Latanya. Shout out to Shar. Shout out to Miss Full Roller. Shout out to Mr. Wise. Shout out to Lily, aka House of Bling. Shout out to Felicia. Let's see who else came in. Okay, shout out to Love Blake. Of course, of course, I'm thankful Jess for coming through. Shout out to let's see, yeah, to Mr. Toure. I forgot to pronounce the whole thing. I'm gonna have to get better at that. But shout out to KB. So thank y'all for sticking with this conversation. I hope that y'all have a great day. Oh yeah, check out the description box. Yeah, if you're not subscribed to my Twitch channel or any of my social medias, but I really want more people to get on my Twitch channel because I will when I have certain conversations and something like that YouTube might block. I don't think they will, but just in case, I may want to have certain conversations, do certain stuff on Twitch. So just have it there. It's a live stream. It's a live streaming channel. I think you also put like pre-recorded content on there too. But I mean, it's an app, so it doesn't. You're not. I mean, it won't. I don't think it'll take up much space. And then on top of that, you don't really need to do too much to be on it. Just try to make sure you follow the channel so you get the updates and when I go live, and then after that, pretty much, yeah, pretty much that'll be it. And I mean, I kind of want to do a Patreon, but I don't know how people feel about that. So I guess y'all gonna let me know. I guess I might do a video, seeing getting everyone's thoughts. So until then, thank y'all for checking out the conversation. I really appreciate it. We had learned a lot. Had fun, whatever. So thank y'all. Holding us bound vibrations, people. And I'll see you guys later. Have a have a great day. I may come back on live later, but I'm not sure. So if not, then I'll see you next time.